काफी बड़ा परिवार है मेरा, यही संसार है मेरा। हर दिन मेरी कोशिश है इसे हरा भरा रखने की, कुछ कोशिश घर को मजबूत बनाने की, कुछ कोशिश घर को जीता जागता बनाने की, कुछ कोशिश बड़ों की सेवा की, कुछ कोशिश छोटों को बड़ा बनाने की, कुछ कोशिश नई दिशाएं दिखाने की, कुछ कोशिश उत्साह जगाने की। देश नाम है मेरे संसार का, इंडिया नाम है मेरे परिवार का, टाटा कोशिश जिम्मेदारी निभाने की।
Why should the road tell me where to go?
Why should anything come between me and the stars?
Why should impossible stop me?
Why shouldn't I make space for the unexpected?
Why shouldn't that feel like this?
How would here look like from there, or there, or there?
Every journey brings its own questions. You bring your own reply.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tata Crucible Campus Quiz 2023. We have identified 6 winners who have already qualified into their respective zones. That means we have completed 6 cluster finals. Today we are getting into the 7th cluster. That is the cluster from Chhattisgarh. And time for me now to identify the top 3 scorers from among the 6 of them who will move into the cluster final. Let me quickly introduce them and then we will get cracking with the wild card. Our first contestant for the day is Amrit from NIT Raipur. All right, that's Amrit for you. Following him from IIM Raipur is Revant. All right, from the same institute, that's IIM Raipur, is Sanchit. Joining us from GGV Bilaspur is Vedansh. All right, up next following Vedansh is Siddhant from BIT Durg. And completing this lineup for us here today from NIT Raipur again is Shivansh. All right, good institutes have qualified here today. I expect a very good wild card. Let's see how these contestants perform. Ladies and gentlemen, time for me to identify the top 3 scorers from among the 6 of them who will qualify into that cluster final. Good luck. Question number 1 of this wildcard. The buzzers are open and highly sensitive. Be careful. All right. Question number 1 of this wildcard, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Zero is a line of beverages by Neeraj Kakkar's Hector Beverages, which this is a flavor or it's a sub-brand by another famous brand by Hector Beverages. Which brand am I talking about? Zero, I said. It's actually another line of flavors. Go ahead, Shivansh is on the buzzer.
Paperboat, the company which makes Amras, lychee juice, the small in like cans and stuff.
I think he is a loyal customer of Paperboat. He knows all the flavors. He's smiling there. +1 to you. Beautiful answer by Shivansh. He worked that out. Paperboat is what I was looking for as an answer. All right, Shiva's getting a +1, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to question number 2. Here we go. Anupam Sinhal and Vikas Chaudhary started which home services venture in 2015? It's an aggregator model. I'll help you out. Nano Jobs or Book My Buy? All right, Amrit is on the buzzer. Go ahead, Amrit.
Magic Bricks. Magicbricks.com.
All right, Amrit is giving me a third answer altogether. I gave options. I said Nano Jobs or Book My Buy, and he said Magic Bricks. I do not understand this strategy of quizzing. Amrit -1 on that. One of the options that I offered has to be the right answer, right? Listen to the question properly, Amrit. I think you're getting a little stressed out. Do not do that. Calm down. The right answer, ladies and gentlemen, that I was looking for is Book My Buy. They have house help, cooks, and I think babysitters, all of them. It's an aggregator model, and Book My Buy is the answer I was looking for. Amrit getting a negative on that. We have many more questions to go. He can very easily negate that and move into the positives. Let's move on to question number 3. This person was a fan of Kentucky whiskeys, and he created a web app. His name, Kevin Systrom. The app he created, Bourbon, that is Burbn. How do we know this app today? Go ahead, Shivansh.
Instagram.
Repeat your answer, please.
Instagram.
Instagram is absolutely right. +1 to him. I expected a quick buzz. Hence, the clues that I gave were towards the end, Kevin Systrom and Bourbon. Shivansh getting a +1. He's good and he knows where to take his chances. He's not taking unnecessary chances. He's already on +2. Good strategy for a wild card. Let's move on to question number 4. What was Sony's first launched consumer product? Your options, earphones or electric rice cooker? Sanchit, go ahead.
Ma'am, electric rice cooker.
Electric rice cooker, he says. Those of you who are new into the world of business quizzing, electric rice cookers is absolutely right. It may come as a surprise to you, but Sony started, the first consumer product that they started was the electric rice cooker. Sanchit getting a +1 on that. Good answer by him. High quality answer. Let's move on to question number 5. Phoenix was the name of which internet browser? Your options, Firefox or Internet Explorer? Phoenix, I said. Vedansh, go ahead.
Firefox.
Firefox is absolutely right. Vedansh gets a +1 on that, ladies and gentlemen. I've completed 5 questions. I'll finish a few more and then tell you where they stand. For now, let's go on. Let's move on into question number 6. Here we go. Which consumer electronics company was founded by Konosuke Matsushita? Yeah, I'll give you options. Amrit, go ahead. Doesn't need options.
Panasonic.
Panasonic is absolutely right. He did not allow me to give the options, but he knew the answer already. +1 to Amrit. He's getting a +1. He negates that -1 he took earlier, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's move on to question number 7. Here we go. Which car brand also produces power systems for planes and nuclear submarines? Your options. Oh, Vedansh, go ahead.
Rolls-Royce.
Rolls-Royce, the luxury high-end car brand, also provides power systems for plane and nuclear submarines. He's absolutely right. Vedansh gets a +1 on that, ladies and gentlemen. Good answer by him. He too is very careful on where he takes his chances. He's on +2 along with Shivansh. Let's move on. Question number 8. Who is the author of the book Crook to Cook? Your options, Gordon Ramsay or Snoop Dogg? Sanchit, go ahead.
Ma'am, Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay, he says. Sometimes we quiz hosts like to bring in some trick questions. Snoop Dogg is the right answer. Sanchit getting a -1 on that. You would not ever imagined Snoop Dogg to have a cookbook, but this is his first cookbook. It's probably one of his passion areas. That is why he's come up with his own cookbook called Crook to Cook. Last two questions of this wild card, the penultimate one, here we go. It was a video stream app co-founded by Kevon Beckpour and acquired by Twitter before its launch in 2015. It was discontinued in 2021. What am I talking about? Vimeo or Periscope? Go ahead, Sanchit.
Vimeo.
Vimeo, he says. Sanchit somehow is not able to pick the right one. Gets a -1 on that. Periscope is the right answer. All right, Sanchit getting another negative. Sanchit, honestly, you can still negate that and force a tiebreaker. You still have a chance. Do not lose hope. The last question of this wild card, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Sonnets is a range of single reserve origin limited edition coffee. This was launched in 2021. Amrit, go ahead.
Sonnet.
I said sonnet in the question, Amrit. I started the question with sonnets is a range of single origin reserve coffee. I started with that. -1 to Amrit. Sometimes you have to allow the quiz host to complete the question. For all you know, there might be a trick in the question, or what you think is the answer may not always be the answer. You have to listen carefully. Amrit getting a -1 on that, ladies and gentlemen. With that, we have completed this wild card, but only identified 2 who have made it into that cluster final. Tiebreaker between Revant and Siddhant, ladies and gentlemen. Question number 1 of the tiebreaker. Both of them are ready with their buzzers. Here we go. Weaving the Web is a book written by this director of World Wide Web Consortium. Who is the author? I'll help you out. Bill Gates or Tim Berners-Lee? Oh, come on, guys. There are a lot of clues in the question. Okay, no one trying. I will move on to the next question. All right, I'm finding a good question for them. All right, tiebreaker question number 2. Here we go. Began producing the now famous interlocking bricks, calling them automatic binding bricks. Which company did this? Your options, Ultratech or Lego? Automatic binding bricks. Revant is taking a chance. Go ahead, Revant.
Ma'am, Lego.
Lego, he says. The clue or the question said interlocking bricks, and it said automatic binding bricks. Most of the quizzes would, or the human tendency would be to go into a civil engineering company, but Revant chose Lego, and it moves him into the cluster final. Congratulations, Revant. You get a +1 on that. And Revant from IIM Raipur joins Vedansh from GTV Bilaspur and Shivansh from NIT Raipur into that cluster final. Ladies and gentlemen, we have identified the top 3 scorers who have qualified into the cluster final. You don't go anywhere. I have to identify the next 3 who will join them. So join me in the second wild card from the Chhattisgarh cluster. I will see you there.
This picnic was a great idea.
थैंक यू।
Candlelight dinner of sandwiches.
पर ब्रेड बटर तो लिए नहीं, आज सेल डे नहीं है ना?
What? ब्रेड बटर खरीदने के लिए forget that Thursday sale. Big basket है, हर दिन सस्ता. Big savings, big basket.
Wait! Dumbest idea ever.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of Tata Crucible Campus Quiz 2023. We are getting into the second wild card of Cluster 7. That's the cluster from Chhattisgarh, which means I've already identified the first 3 who have made it into that cluster final. But for now, let me quickly introduce our contestants to you and then move on with the wild card. Our first contestant of the day, representing NIT Raipur, is Anurag. All right, that's Anurag for you. Following him, representing BIT Durg, is Nimrat. All right, up next from NIT Raipur again is Karthik. All right, following Karthik is Adil from Amity University, Chhattisgarh. All right, that's him there. And completing the lineup for us here today is Neha from IIM Raipur. We had another student named Srijan from NIT Raipur who was to join us, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. But the 5 of them are here, and we have to now identify who are the top 3 scorers from among the 5 of them who will qualify into that cluster final. Okay, the buzzers are open, they are highly sensitive. If you press the buzzer, you have to give me an answer or take a negative. Remember that. Good luck to all of you. It's all about qualifying. The first question of this wild card, here we go. Name the co-founder of a comedy group, AIB, and the brain behind many of the cred ads. Your options, Rohan Joshi or Tanmay Bhatt. Go ahead, Neha. She's quick on the buzzer. Neha, go ahead. Go ahead, Neha. You have to unmute and give me the answer on the buzzer.
Tanmay Bhatt.
Tanmay Bhatt is absolutely right. Neha getting a +1 on that, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Questions like these is what I expect to be buzzed very quickly, especially among college students. These are the things they know extremely well and they follow as well. Moving on to question number 2. Here we go. Meera Kulkarni founded which luxury organic beauty brand in 2000 with a golden tree of life as their logo? Your options, Dabur or Forest Essentials. Go ahead, Muhammad Adil on the buzzer.
Forest Essentials.
Forest Essentials, he says. He's absolutely right. Getting a +1 is Adil there. All right, moving on to question number 3. Here we go. Which IPL team is sponsored by Qatar Airways as one of its main sponsors? Oh, no options needed. Anurag, go ahead.
Is it RCB?
RCB is absolutely right. +1 to you, Anurag. Is absolutely right. He gets a +1. He did not have any doubts, but yet he went on saying, is it RCB? He's absolutely right. He gets a +1. Moving on to question number 4. Here we go. Identify the brand from this tagline. The tagline, because you're worth it. A cosmetic beauty brand. All right, I'll help you out. Maybelline or L'Oreal? Go ahead, Anurag.
First one.
First one, that's Maybelline.
Yes.
All right. The cosmetic brand not helping him. He takes a negative on that. L'Oreal is what I was looking for. If you recall the initial advertisements, Aishwarya Rai used to be one of their brand ambassadors, and she had a line, because you're worth it, always coming in the L'Oreal Paris ads. All right, Anurag getting a -1 on that. It's too soon to comment, though. There are many more questions. You can quickly move into the positives. Let's now move on to question number 5. Pierre Omidyar founded which of these e-commerce platforms? Your options, eBay or Alibaba? Karthik, go ahead.
eBay.
eBay is absolutely right. Karthik knew the answer the moment I gave him the options. +1 to Karthik, he's absolutely right. Let's move on to question number 6. Chris Kempczinski is the CEO of which of these fast food chains? Your options, Burger King or McDonald's? Anurag, go ahead.
Burger King.
Anurag is trying to make up for the lost point there, but he gets a negative again. McDonald's is the right answer. All right, let's move on to question number 7. Here we go. Introduced in 2015, the tudum sound is synonymous with which popular brand? It's a global fan event. Oh, go ahead, Neha. Neha, quickly, you have to answer quickly on the buzzer. Repeat your answer, please.
Netflix.
Netflix is absolutely right. Neha getting another +1 on that, ladies and gentlemen. Netflix is what I was looking for. I did not want to give them answer options, and Neha pressed the buzzer even before I could. All right, let's move on to question number 8. Name the American Voice over Internet Protocol, better known as VoIP or VoIP, and instant messaging service which offers private rooms called servers. Your options, Twitch or Discord. Anurag, go ahead.
Discord.
Discord, he says. All right, he's trying to make up for the negative. +1. He's absolutely right. He quickly negates that -1 that he has. All right, last 2 questions remaining. Let me tell you where all of them stand. All right, Neha from IIM Raipur is leading with 2 points, and close behind her are Karthik from NIT Raipur and Adil from Amity University. Anurag is trying to move into the positives. Anurag, if you hadn't taken those negatives, you would have been on +2, but I understand that's how you play a quiz. Sometimes you have to take your chances. All of you still have a chance. If you get the last 2 questions right, you can still make it into the cluster final. Let's see what happens. The penultimate question of this wild card, here we go. Identify a social news aggregator and discussion platform with Steve Huffman as one of the founders. Your options, Quora or Reddit. Steve Huffman, I said. Anurag, go ahead.
Quora.
Quora giving him a negative again. Anurag's score today is sort of a sine cost curve. He gets a positive, he moves into the negative, he gets a positive, and the pattern repeats. A -1 is what he gets on that. Reddit is the right answer. I, of course, didn't take the names of the other 2 founders in the question. Probably that would have helped him, but for now he gets a negative. The last question of this wild card, here we go. Which freemium messenger was founded by Pavel Durov and is mainly acclaimed for its data privacy features? Your options, Telegram or WhatsApp. Karthik, go ahead.
Telegram.
Telegram is what he says. Karthik wants to ensure that he makes it into that cluster final. +1. He's absolutely right with 2 points each. Karthik from NIT Raipur and Neha from IIM Raipur qualify into that cluster final. Also, along with them, with 1 point, Mohammad Adil from Amity University, Chhattisgarh joins them in that cluster final. Sometimes 1 point is good enough to qualify you into that cluster final. Adil, I think, was smart to not take any negatives and be careful on where he presses his buzzer. He's smiling there. He didn't take unnecessary chances, and that has ensured that he qualifies into that cluster final. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We have identified all our finalists who will now move into that cluster final that will be hosted by PickBrain. You don't go anywhere. The cluster final is coming up. I assure you, you're going to enjoy it. We will see you at the cluster final. You take care.
उससे मिलके I feel like a child again. वो हमेशा दिखाती है मुझे bright side. She is nature और मैं हूँ her finest creation. Nature's finest by Mia.
A big hello and a warm welcome to each and every one of you. You're with me, PickBrain, here yet again at another cluster of Tata Crucible Campus Quiz 2023. Year on year, this fabulous quiz goes across this nation, capturing the minds and imagination of some sharp youngsters. Here today, we are at the lovely state of Chhattisgarh, almost like the heartland of India. We've got 6 outstanding finalists who've reached here after grueling online rounds, those lovely semi-finals with young Rashmi Furtado, and here they are to find a place for themselves in the top 24 of the nation. Let's take a look at who these 6 contenders are before we start playing the Chhattisgarh final. With us as our first contender here today, qualifying from IIM at Raipur, is Revant. Welcome to you, Revant. Neighboring Revant as our second contender from Bilaspur's GGV is Vedansh. Welcome to you. Neighboring him from NIT Raipur, which have been the traditional rivals of IIM Raipur there, the first among them today is Shivansh. Welcome to you, Shivansh. Neighboring Shivansh, also from NIT Raipur, with us here today is Karthik. Welcome, Karthik. Representing the Amity University for the first time this year from Chhattisgarh, we have with us Adil. Welcome, Adil. And completing our lineup here today from IIM Raipur, the lone lady in the battle, Neha. Welcome to you, Neha. Well, in many of our other clusters that you have witnessed, the lone ladies in the final have been more than a handful for the gentlemen, and they've tended to go on and win the competition. So Neha will back herself on that. We'll begin with the first one. It's time for our contestants to think. Here it is. Contestants, if you could hold your buzzers into position, we are good to get started with our Chhattisgarh final. All right. If we can unlock the buzzers. Starting our cluster final here today with the first of our questions appearing on your screen now. This is the Internet Sati program. It's a collaboration between Tata Trusts and an American giant. Phenomenal program for rural India. Shivansh has gone for it. Yeah, Shivansh.
I'll go with Google.
You'll go with Google. The first 50 goes to you. Well played. The first 50 going to NIT Raipur as we go to the next question. Hands on the buzzer, question on your screen now. What is the connection of this book, Fluid Concepts and Creative Analogies, to the world of internet? Douglas Hofstadter wrote this book. Some internet blogs even claim it inspired a name in a popular web series called Big Bang Theory, where you have a Professor Hofstadter, but we found no evidence of that. It was the first ever book that did something. Anybody going for it? Nobody on the buzzer. 5 seconds of time rolling away. The answer that I was looking for is it's the first ever product or book to have sold on Amazon.com. So Amazon started its journey with a lovely book by Douglas Hofstadter. Moving on to our next question. Hands on the buzzer on your screen now. A famous American artist, film director, and producer known for his works of art created these designs known as the Campbell soup cans design. Which great artist in the world are we talking about? Is it Ian Smith or Andy Warhol? Is it Ian Smith or Andy Warhol? Neha's gone for it.
Andy Warhol.
Is absolutely correct. Well played on that one. She'll get herself a 50, the first 50 to her. As we move on to the next question, hands on the buzzer. Here we go. Penultimate, no, 3 more questions to go. Here's the next one. Now, identify this really important thinker, author, speaker, a powerhouse in this world on emotional intelligence. Who are we talking about? It's too big a name for me to lend any clues. Nobody going for it on the buzzer. turns out to be a tough one. That is Daniel Goleman. And I thought with 2 IMs and 2 NITs in the fray, that would be not so difficult. Daniel Goleman not being cracked here today. As we move on to the next question on your screen now. This is Puran Chandra Gupta. He's extremely popular for starting a media house in Jhansi way back in 1942. Is it Dainik Jagran or Rajasthan Patrika? Karthik's gone for it. Yes, Karthik.
Rajasthan Patrika.
We'll give you a minus 50. Jhansi is more, Madhya Pradesh, so Dainik Jagran. In fact, your belt also has a lot of Dainik Jagran influence. And he takes a minus 50 on that, trying to get Rajasthan Patrika in. Final question, first frontier on your screen. Here we go. He started his career as a lawyer in the 1900s, early 1900s. Became chairman of the Mumbai Municipal Corporation, was later part of the Tata Group as its director. After India won its independence, he was appointed governor of what was then called the United Provinces and Uttar Pradesh from 1949 to 1952. Who are we talking about? C.D. Deshmukh or Homi Modi? 2 clues to choose from. Revant's giving it a shot. Yeah, Revant.
Is it Homi Modi?
Is correct. Well played for a 50. He'll get his first 50 there. Early days of the Tata Crucible from Chhattisgarh. We've got 3 of them on 50. Revant, Neha and Shivansh. While Karthik, I'm sure, will claw his way back. Time for us to move to the second frontier of our battle. Time for all our contestants to collaborate. Here it is. Starting with the first one on your screen now. This gentleman is Jamshedji Baba or Jamshed Baba. He, along with J.R.D. Tata, long years ago believed India requires a center for appreciating art and culture. And they created something fabulous in Bombay then. Which among these did they create? Was it NCPA or the JJ School of Art? Karthik.
JJ School of Art.
We'll give you another negative. He's taking the wrong choices here today. Maybe he's playing half chances. Guessing can be a tricky game at a Tata Crucible. The answer, of course, is NCPA. Stands in glory to this day and has promoted art in a magnificent manner. As we go to the next question on your screens now. This is a film and television production company that's made great films like The Revenant and The Wolf of Wall Street. Which great actor is behind this? Leonardo DiCaprio or Ben Kingsley? Shivans.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Is absolutely correct. He'll get himself another 50 with that, with Leonardo DiCaprio and his production company. As we go to the next one, overall answer is what matters. On your screen, here it is. It's a hugely famous brand in this world. One of the big clues for that, of course, is Jacqueline Kennedy. Leena Nair of Indian origin is an important clue. Shivans again. Yeah, Shivansh.
So this is the brand Chanel.
This is the brand.
Chanel. Yes.
Is absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. Chanel is absolutely right. Leena Nair heads it. Jacqueline Kennedy at a point in time was a huge endorser or a user of it. As we go to the next one on your screen now. From the world of advertising, identify a man after whom a great advertising agency was named. One of his famous statements was, "When to take my name off the door." The Cadillac company owes a lot of its brand's rise to this great man and his company. The Jolly Green Giant was one of their creations. pencils were an important motivator for this entity. Nobody on the buzzer. The answer that I was looking for is Leo Burnett. Leo Burnett from the world of advertising. Turns out to be a tricky one here today at Chhattisgarh. As we go to the next one on your screens now. Come the summers, come this drink. This will lead you to a famous Indian drink for which the initial distribution in India was done by Voltas. Very few people know that Voltas distributed this drink. Well, Shivansh is trying.
So actually, Rasna was initially distributed by a Tata subsidiary, so I'll go with Rasna.
Your overall answer is?
Rasna.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well played. He'll get a 50. The Tatas were the initial distributors of Rasna. That is Ankita Javeri, the cute little Rasna girl who's today grown to become a leading actress. And that's how she looks today. Well, she's going to be upset with this statement, but I love her the way she looked as a kid. And she was so cute. I mean, she was absolutely cute as the Rasna girl. As we go to the next one, hands on the buzzer. Question on your screen now. The Tatas have signed up with these people for the production of 29 fighter wing ship sets. Which famous global giant is this on your screen? Shivansh again. He's being aggressive. Yeah, Shivansh?
Lockheed Martin Group.
Clever and correct. Well played. He is really putting on the scores here is Shivansh. Others will have to play hard to get to him. We're just about halfway to the quiz, so it's not difficult for Revant or Neha to do that, or anybody else for that matter, because they're all in the same stack. But he has reached, I think, 250. And if he moves forward from here, that's going to be tough for the others. So he's on a very good wicket midway in this cluster final. As we go to the next one on your screens now. Identify this Irish brand in a sense that originated in a brewery at St. James Gate at Dublin. It's famous as a global brand, not just for the beer they offer or the brewery they offer, but also for a great book that they published. That's a huge clue. Shivansh. Sit back.
Just because you said Irish brand, I'll go with a Guinness. You know that alcoholic brand, a pint of Guinness. I'll go with Guinness.
And I said they published a famous book.
Yeah, so Guinness Book of World Records can be derived from the same name.
Shivansh is thinking well. 50 again. Oh, he's moving from strength to strength. Is this young lad from NIT Raipur? He's gone on to 300 and he's really looking invincible at this stage. On to the next one on your screens now. Considered the father of fiber optics in India, Neha's gone for it very, very quickly. He was awarded the Padma Vibhushan.
Sorry, it was by mistake.
Oh, you just buzzed by mistake. Oh God, I'm so sorry, but you buzzed as if you knew the answer. So I can't do anything but to penalize you with 50 points. I am so sorry. I do believe you are genuine, but the rules are the rules. You buzzed when the question appeared, so I will have to take 50 away from you. Narinder Singh Kapani, the man who's really believed to be one of the unsung heroes of this century, and in fact, perhaps created something that many would argue was even Nobel deserving, the father of fiber optics, as called by none less than Fortune. Well, question to all of you. The next one, hands on the buzzer. Here we go. This is an institution from a great Indian philosopher. The concept of the logo is of a Garuda with an Upanishad coating, which is essentially from this great philosopher. This philosopher is Sir or Sri Aurobindo, or Swami Vivekananda? Karthik.
RK Mission.
I said Aurobindo or Vivekananda. I'm not able to hear you.
Vivekananda Mission.
The Vivekananda mission will give you a minus 50. We were not able to hear you here on the first count. Vivekananda will give him another minus 50. Well, he's running the race in a slightly different direction. Here today is Karthik, but he wants to fight. He's smiling, which is good. I mean, he's sportive. He knows it's not going his way so far, but it can. As we go to the next one on your screen now. She was the first woman to serve on Facebook's board of directors. She advises you to lean in. Who are we talking about? Great lady from the world of, well, or from the corporate world. Your options are Marissa Mayer or Sheryl Sandberg. Marissa Mayer. Vedansh is giving this a shot. Yeah, Vedansh?
Sheryl Sandberg. I'll take a guess in this.
Just louder.
Sheryl Sandberg
Is absolutely correct. He's got that right. He'll get himself a 50. So the second place seems to slowly be shaping up into a battle here. 2 more questions to go, and then we've got the final round. Maybe I'm still speaking early or out of turn, but let's see. But 50 and 300 is quite a distance, unless someone gets to 150 by the end of this round or 100. Next question on your screens now. This is a famous museum now in Toronto. Very beautifully, the motto of the museum is "One step at a time." Which global brand houses its products in this museum? One step at a time. Which museum would tell you that? It's a cute answer. 5 seconds of time. The logo is indicative in a sense of the product. Someone's giving it a go. Shivansh it is. Yeah, Shivansh.
Just because of shoes, I'm going with Bata. I take one step at a time.
Your line is not clear, so just be brief and...
Bata shoes.
Bata. You're saying it's something to do with shoes. It's a shoe museum. The answer is Bata. He's absolutely right. Bata has put together a museum of shoes. If you get to Toronto, do get to that museum. I haven't yet. As we go to the final one in this frontier on your screens now. This is a Padma Vibhushan recipient, an Indian architect who's a Pritzker Architecture Prize recipient. We lost him in 2023. He's known to have created some great architecture for educational institutions like the Flame University, IIM Bangalore, IIM Udaipur, NIFT Delhi. All these are creations of this great architect. Who are we talking about? Is it Charles Correa or B.V. Doshi? Shivansh.
Charles Correa.
Will give you a minus 50. Shivansh is slowly trying to now start having fun with half guesses. That's a dangerous route to take, because you suddenly get 2 wrong and then you're down to 200, and then that can be tricky. But we'll take a look at the scores here with one final frontier remaining. The Chhattisgarh final of Tata Crucible for Campuses 2023 is what you're watching with me here, Big Brain. And the scores read as follows. Revant is on 50, Vedansh is on 50, Shivansh is on 300, and Neha's lost ground after she had gained ground, but I'm sure she can make a comeback from here.
Red. Christmassy. Yellow. Pink. तुम भी पिंक, मैं भी पिंक, दोनों गुलदस्ता लगेंगे।
आपकी आधी शाम भी इसी तरह अपने पसंद की शोज ढूंढने में निकल जाती है ना? एक ऐप, दूसरी ऐप, फिर तीसरी, डिसाइड करते करते इवनिंग ओवर, करेक्ट? इसलिए हमने डाउनलोड किया है टाटा प्ले बिंज। पाइए 22+ OTT ऐप्स के शोज, मूवीज, लाइव स्पोर्ट्स और बहुत कुछ एक ही जगह पे। यानी नो मोर ढूंढना, ओनली देखना।
तो आज ही टाटा प्ले बिंज डाउनलोड कीजिए। प्लान स्टार्ट एट ₹249।
We move to the final frontier. Time for them to lead. Here it is. On the final frontier, I'm going to read out the questions. You can decide where to press the buzzer and stop me from continuing to read the questions. 50 the value, keep that in mind as we start with the first one. This ice cream brand of global stature actually has a graveyard for its retired ice cream brands. They actually have a graveyard where they keep their old ice cream brands and give them a tribute. Some customers even visit that to pay tributes to brands that they loved in their younger years. Is this Baskin Robbins or Ben & Jerry's? Neha's giving it a shot.
Ben & Jerry's.
Is correct. She'll get the 50 back. Ben & Jerry's is absolutely right. Neha gets a 50 as we go to the next one. Hands on the buzzer. The name of this food item, according to one theory, is derived from a Greek word, which means a kind of a barley broth, which was served to commemorate the dead. Another theory says that it is based on a rice-based dish, normally served at a funeral, hence the name. It's an Italian dish. Your options are macaroni or pizza. Karthik, this time going for it.
Macaroni.
Is correct. Macaroni has a lot of association in that country with funerals, with people who are dead and so on. As we go to the third question, the game's getting tighter in a sense. For the second place, Shivansh is now being mature. He's waiting and watching. He knows with 4 questions to go, he is in a very, very safe place. Here's the next one. I am a prolific writer, published several books, which includes What the Dog Saw, David and Goliath, Underdogs and Misfits, The Bomber Mafia, to name a few. I'm an English-born Canadian journalist, a public speaker. I co-founded a podcast company called Pushkin Industries. Am I Tom Peters or Malcolm Gladwell? Karthik again.
Malcolm.
Is correct. He's making his comeback. He's down to minus 50. Well, he certainly didn't want a scorecard with a huge negative. So he's clawing his way back with 3 questions to go. He could just end up with plus 100 and even become runner-up if he gets all right. On to the next one. This is a tactic in corporate finance used to counter a takeover or a merger of a bidder who's made a formal bid to shareholders to buy their shares. When the board of directors of the target company meets, they just say no. It comes from the Just Say No campaign and was repeated by a United States First Lady. Hence the name of this defense. Is it the Hillary Clinton defense or the Nancy Reagan defense? Vedansh.
Hillary Clinton.
Will give you a negative. Well, going for the more popular or recent of names, he'll lose that 50, but he needed to get there. 2 questions to go. The second place battle seems to be between Neha and Revanth right now. That's between IIM Raipur and for sure NIT Raipur with Shivansh moving into the nation's top 24. But we'll do the next 2 questions to resolve the runner-up dispute. Here we go. Invented in the 19th century as a powerful surgical antiseptic, later sold in distilled form both as a floor cleaner and a cure for something common. It wasn't a success at all in those days till it was pitched as a solution for halitosis, chronic halitosis, which is something that affects the throat. So this became something commonly used by human beings to clear or cleanse their throat. What is this? Commonly part of our mornings or many of our mornings. Not necessarily everyone uses it. Which brand? Vedansh is giving it a shot. Yeah, Vedansh.
Listerin
is correct. Oh, Listerin is right. He also enters the second place battle. If he gets the next one right, he's going to upstage the IIMs. Final question from this region. This is an Indian-American economist who served as a chief economist on the board of IMF between 2019 and 2022, was elevated as IMF's first deputy managing director, the number 2 position at the fund in January of 2022. This lady of Indian origin has become an extremely important name. Karthik this time.
Geeta.
Geeta, can you tell me a little more or just remember Geeta? Is correct. Well answered. Very well answered on Geeta Gopinathan. He's got that absolutely right. And he comes back to where he started this battle. It's been a long journey in the wrong direction and then finding his way back in the right way. It happens. It happens. That's perfectly okay. Now, tiebreaker questions. We've got 2 teams. 3 of them in the tiebreaker here at the Chhattisgarh cluster final. 2 from IIM Raipur, Revant and Neha. Challenging them is Vedansh from Bilaspur. But fair and square with some outstanding answers into the nation's top 24. Shivansh from NIT Raipur. But we'll come to that in just a moment as we try to resolve our tiebreaker here today. Let me start with this. If a biscuit gets its name because it's cooked twice, what is given to a cookie that is cooked thrice? A biscuit means cooked or baked twice. Therefore, bis. What is it if it is cooked or baked thrice? And we all ignorantly eat it. No one going for that tiebreaker because we have 3 of them in the tiebreaker. I thought it's a good tiebreaker question to ask. The answer is Triscuit. You have a biscuit and then you have a Triscuit. We don't realize it sometimes. There is something called a Triscuit. All right, here we go. Created completely by man, it's an island which generates a lot of revenue for a country. The name of the island is Sentosa. Which country would you go to be at this island? It's a big revenue generator. Neha is giving it a shot. If she gets it right, she wins the runner-up title. Go ahead, Neha.
Singapore?
Will win you the entire cash prize for the runner-up. And that is big at a Tata Crucible. She's got that absolutely right. She gets herself to 100 and more importantly, as a runner-up of Tata Crucible. One young man did something perfect today, got all his answers right, then just stayed quiet, witnessed the final round from the best position in the stadium, if one would call it that, with 300. He will be a tough contender in the nation's top 24 if he continues to play the way he did here today. Congratulations to Shivansh from NIT Raipur for doing that, and to Neha for beating the others and getting to the runner-up position. To all of you watching this cluster of Tata Crucible, from me, Big Brain, from my colleague Rashmi Furtado, from all of us here at the studios of Tata Crucible, we'll be back with you with yet another cluster, and we're moving quickly up north in this country after having covered the southern terrains. You do not want to miss those finals. We do not want to miss having you at those. Till then, take care. Goodbye.